But I would say, and this is in the Bible too, but don't go to bread angry.
Try
I feel
again.
like that was, what?
You said bread.
Don't go to bread angry?
That's
No.
what you said.
Yeah, don't go to bread angry, because like if you go to bread when you're angry and then you eat like a whole loaf, like garlic bread, French bread, sourdough bread. Like if you go to bread angry.
It's literally the worst.
So don't go to bed angry.
Thank you.
So try to reconcile everything before you go to bed, because the Bible says it.
Welcome to the Revolve Recap weekly podcast, hosted by David Macomber and Bill Lackey. Our goal is to help the members of Revolve Church deepen their connection to God, His family, the church, and His mission, while keeping you in the loop with everything happening in our community. Let's listen in to today's episode.
Welcome to the Revolve Recap podcast. I am your host, David Macomber, and with me is a very special guest. What's your name there, young lady?
Melissa Macomber.
Melissa Macomber. David Macomber, Melissa Macomber. You are my sister?
Nope. I'm your bride.
My wife of 26 years. This is like a special anniversary podcast because this week we celebrate 26 years of marriage.
Okay. I really hope you knew that.
So say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So Melissa is joining us. Bill is currently in Greece sharing the gospel. I talked with him today and he says they're having a great trip. So my wife, Melissa, she didn't offer. I asked her. I called around, asked a couple people. They all said no. And Melissa was like, I'll do it, but you got to stop at McDonald's so I can get a McDonald's Coke. And then while we were in line, she was like, I want French fries as well.
Sure.
So
It's a true story.
So Melissa, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I had a fun day at kindergarten, and now here I am.
All right. So we always start the podcast. Are you a listener of the podcast?
I am a
Are
listener.
you a listener or a watcher?
Listener.
Listener. So you don't get to see all our crazy antics.
No.
No, you hear them. So we start with, what's the opening of the podcast? See if you actually listen to it.
The question of the day.
Question of the day, also known as the
Quitad.
Quatad. So, Melissa, the Quatad for today is, if you were arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you did?
Speeding.
Speeding.
Like really bad speeding, I think. Yeah. I have a teenager driver now, though, so I've slowed down a lot.
Why? Why? Because you have a teenager driver. Does that make you drive slower?
Because all of a sudden I started thinking about how fast he is driving and what an example I should be setting. And I felt convicted that I should not be going over the speed limit.
So how fast? So how do you know how fast your son drives?
Because we have a app for that. Life 360.
And you track him like a creep.
Not like a creep. David told me I had to stop tracking him. So I only get the notifications when he has arrived. And sometimes I get the speed notifications when he has gone over 82. Dangerous.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think for me, it would probably be like graffiti
Vandalism.
or like vandalism.
Yeah.
I feel like as a mural art, I think they're coming.
Yeah.
I hear the siren. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there's apparently a police chase going past the office. But I think, having this connection to murals and painting and stuff, I think I do have a little bit of I don't want to say love, but like this attraction to like street art and graffiti. And it's like it's kind of inspiring, but I've never been brave enough to actually do it. But I don't want to break the law, so. All right. So I got another one.
Okay.
Now this is because it's a special anniversary edition. Okay? And I think because we've been married for 26 years, right? We got a lot of advice to give. What was some advice that you received early in your marriage that turned out not to be that good? That now you look back and you're like, what was that person talking about?
Oh, that's a hard question because I have a really bad memory.
Yeah.
It serves you well when I don't stay mad at you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm sorry.
All right. Then what's a good piece of marital advice that you got early on that you still think about? Because I really can't think of like a bad piece of advice either.
I think the biggest like great advice that we got was to always keep God at the center of our marriage and do that by reading the Bible and praying and doing that together.
It's a really Christian answer.
Oh my goodness, it's a Christian podcast. What do you want me to say? Pay your bills on time. Like, don't get parking tickets.
Why did you say that? Why did you say that with such attitude? Don't get parking tickets.
Because in our youth, David got a lot of parking tickets and ended up getting his truck towed for the amount of parking tickets he had. Not our best choices.
No. So early in our marriage, I was 19 and you were 20 when we got married. And so in my defense, we lived in California in Los Angeles County, and there was street sweepers. So you could only park on certain parts of the road on certain days, and it kind of moved around and rotated. And I'm the type of guy who I never pay for, like, I never put money in a meter in Cape May, because I'm like, I live here year round. I'm not paying a meter, and then I just risk it. And then, maybe once a summer I'll get a parking ticket, but the money that I save by not actually paying a meter. So it's kind of the same thing in California. I would be like, it's okay. But they don't mess around. Like, there's like literally a car that drives through every neighborhood. And if you're parked in the wrong spot, but then you don't pay the tickets, and then it multiplies and it multiplies and it multiplies. And eventually they just tow your $900 was the amount. I still remember it. $900 in like early 2000. That's like $250,000 right now. So, yeah. So pay your parking meter. Yeah. So I don't know. I think for me, like a good piece of advice that I received early on was yes, keep Christ at the center. That is like, I think if people ask me now, like people who are getting married, like Drew and Hannah, like if they were to ask me for advice, which they should. I mean, I'm like a pro at this. No, you have to remember that people are listening. They can't see when you're making faces and stuff.
No, definitely not a pro. We're still working.
What do you mean I'm not a pro? 26 years.
I know, but there's always stuff to learn and grow.
But keeping Christ at the center, it's like if you were going to have a marriage or any relationship and you keep Christ in the center, you're always pointing in the same direction. So we could have a fight about something, and then like the Holy Spirit's going to convict me to reconcile. Same thing with you. And it's like, we don't stay mad at each other because we reconcile because we both want to honor Christ with our relationship. So it's not like if I'm serving Christ and you're not, I'm like trying to reconcile, and then you're like hanging it over my head for years to come.
Yes,
right?
Agreed.
But I would say, and this is in the Bible too, but don't go to bread angry.
Try again.
I feel like that was, what?
You said bread.
Don't go to bread angry?
That's what you said.
Yeah, don't go to bread angry, because like if you go to bread when you're angry and then you eat like a whole loaf, like garlic bread, French bread, sourdough bread. Like if you go to bread angry.
You're literally the worst.
So don't go to bed angry.
Thank you.
So try to reconcile everything before you go to bed, because the Bible says it, but I do remember getting that bit of advice. So there you go. There's a little bit. If you're tuning in, you're newly married or you want to get married, we got all the answers.
Do not believe him.
Also, your sister warned me that you were a disaster because you guys shared rooms growing up, and she was like, Melissa is such a disaster. And it's true. It's
still true. It's okay. I leave the cabinet doors open, but I make a lot of really good chocolate chip cookies.
That's true. That's true. So you take the good with the bad. I'll go around and close the cabinets. You keep making chocolate chip cookies. We're good. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get to the
Sermon recap?
Good job. You're supposed to actually sing it.
Nope.
You go, sermon recap.
That's not happening.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Revolve Recap podcast with your host, David Macomber, and my beautiful, wonderful co-host, Melissa May Macomber. I may edit in some like cheers and stuff.
Okay. Woo. Were you supposed to clap before we started that? So you know
No, I don't have to. So, Melissa May, there's those
Again,
sirens again.
they're coming for you.
They're coming to get you. This makes Melissa feel at home because she's from California. Oh, all right. There's an ambulance.
Yeah,
that's sad now.
Yeah.
Oh, now I feel bad making a joke. Last week we made a joke about what was the joke last week that was inappropriate that we got a call about? The orphans, the plague orphans. Yeah, and then it turns out there was a family who died, and now they have orphans. And Bill and I were making a joke about it. We can't just, now it's on the internet.
Yeah,
We're
forever.
on the internet forever as a bunch of insensitive jerks. So, but that won't happen today because you won't say anything foolish, will you?
I might. It's okay, right?
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I just bumped the mic with my chin on accident. Sorry.
That's right. Bill and I say foolish things all the time, but this is a real deal. We don't mess around. Straight talk. You get the unfiltered. I mean, people come up to us at church and are like, I love getting to know you, the real you, who you really are. And they stay. They keep coming to church. So that's a good thing.
That's a great thing.
Right? All right. So sermon recap. We had Mr. Fran gave us a sermon on, what was the topic yesterday?
Baptism.
Baptism. All right. And I thought that he did a great job kind of using this story from the 2 Kings 5.
Yeah.
Right. So using the story from 2 Kings 5 of this king, Nahum.
No, he wasn't a king.
Naaman.
Yeah.
He wasn't a king, though.
No, he was a strong soldier, like a leader of the guard.
Okay. See, I left my notes at home, so I don't have my notes. So
well, I didn't have that written down.
Wow. Pardon me. So Naaman, he had leprosy. He had just captured a bunch of Israelites. He had captured an Israelite girl, and she said, I think I know somebody that can heal you of your leprosy. And she showed him grace, right? Even though he was the one who was capturing her and enslaving her, she showed him grace, right?
Yeah.
So what else? Did you add anything to that?
He went to the king first, and the king got upset because why would the king send this man to me that I can't do anything? So that part was, just interesting to see how when he recapped all of the reactions.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Like the different people, like in the story, what did each one of them do? I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah,
and then when he went to the prophet, Naaman got mad. And I thought that was interesting too. So like that other portion of like, I'm not even worthy for you to come out and wave your hand over me.
Yeah.
But the whole thing really reminded me of when I was baptized. Like when he came back to it, just made me think about like the final point of, the sin. I wrote it down that like lepers, we can't heal ourselves. Like we need Jesus. And Corey even kind of tapped me on the shoulder in the sermon, was like, did you write that down? Like, yeah, I did. Thank you. So when you think your kids aren't listening, they may actually be listening and getting it. So that was really cool.
That is cool. I'm glad that he asked you that question because he tapped me and asked me a question. And it was, what is sexual immorality? That was the question he asked me in church. And I think it was, I can't remember. Again, I don't have my notes. I think it might have been something in like 2 Timothy that Fran was quoting. And he said something about sexual immorality being a sin. And Corey goes, what's sexual immorality? So I was like, that was the question I had to try to like whisper explain to my son in church. And then Fran said something about lust. And Corey was like, well, what's lust? And it was like, well, it's like sexual immorality, but like kind of beforehand. And I said, this is so funny. Like this is going on in church. Yeah. Like I'm trying to like whisper to my son to like, I'm glad he's asking questions, but also like these are kind of like bigger questions that I don't want to like whisper and like talk about in church. And I don't want to be talking in church. But I said the difference between lust and sexual immorality, and you guys can use this if you want, if your kids ever ask this question in church, is the difference of being hungry and eating. Like the lust is like the desire, and then like the eating is actually doing it, and the sexual morality is the actual act. But then he's like, well, what is the act of sexual immorality? And I was like, oh my word. So I just said sex outside of marriage. I just was like, we'll just end it there. And
Whispered sex outside of marriage in church.
But on the way to school today, we expanded upon the conversation a little bit more. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't get that question.
I'm glad I didn't get that question either.
So, but I think I loved how Fran was connecting like leprosy to sin, and how he talked about that. Like you can't heal yourself of leprosy. Leprosy is like a stench, that you hate. And Bill and I, we've had this conversation a lot. Like if there's someone who is prideful and I struggle with being prideful, like it's almost like the people who suffer with the same sins as you or struggle with the same sins as you, you're like really offended. And you're like, I'm kind of like that person. But it's like something about like their stench like makes you really upset, even though you struggle with the same thing. So I thought that was really cool. It was like a cool illustration. So it was, you can't heal yourself. Leprosy smells. Leprosy is internal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually like the manifestation of the skin, the rotting skin. That was the other thing Corey wanted to know about leprosy and like how you get it and how it falls off. And he's glad that he's not going to get it. And I was like, well, you might get it, you gotta let the kids have a little bit of fear. I told him if you're sexually immoral, you'll get leprosy.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't really.
Okay.
But I did tell them they're sexually transmitted diseases. So scared straight.
Good.
But what was the other one? Yeah. So sin is a hard issue, but you see sin on the outside, but it's actually a heart issue, more of an internal issue.
It starts small and gets bigger.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Any other takeaways that you had or observations?
I just think it was a great message. I hope that people listened and really thought about like if they wanted to be baptized.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us real quick, tell us your baptism story. You kind of shared a little bit about in the beginning, you were baptized kind of older in life, right?
I was baptized in my mid-20s. I became a Christian in high school at a summer camp and followed the Lord, but baptism was never really offered or on the table. I never really knew I was missing it. And then it was brought to my attention that, oh, you should be baptized. And just went down the route of understanding what it actually meant and decided to be baptized. And my mom and I were baptized together. So it was really special.
Oh, that's cool. I kind of forgot about that you guys were baptized together.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I really liked at the end when Fran gave like the 5 like objections of why like you might not want to be baptized. And one of the ones was like you just grew up and were never baptized. Your church just never really talked about it. And Melissa and I, kind of the denomination that we belonged to in our early 20s, it wasn't really talked about. It wasn't very like popular. Like,
well, and I was old. Like I was a Christian since I was 16, but I was never baptized. And at that point, I was like, I'm too old. Why would I do that now? It's like, you're never too old. So those reasons were really good.
Well, your mom was baptized. She's really old.
Stop.
Well, I mean, she wasn't that old then. She's probably the age we are now.
Our age, yeah.
Oh man. So I really enjoyed Fran's, and I think my takeaway was the same thing of just really appreciating the gospel, appreciating the illustration or the word that Fran used of atonement. I mean, it means we become at one with God, like we are connected with God through the atonement of Jesus's blood. And I just think passages and sermons like that are just good reminders of just what the gospel is and I don't want to say it was like a feel-good message, but it was just like, hey, I'm glad I have the gospel. I'm glad it's available to anyone here who hasn't heard it before. And I think like if you were listening to the sermon and you're just like, oh, this is the same old sermon, I've heard it 100 times. I think you'd be kind of missing the point. It's like just hearing the beauty of the gospel and just celebrating it. If you're living that and you've accepted that and you've been baptized, just remembering what it meant. And then if you've never experienced it, like really chewing on it and,
and the freedom of it, that all of those things you could be thinking in your head, they're not true. None of those are good reasons to not be baptized. If you love Jesus and you haven't been baptized, be baptized for the outward declaration of your love for Jesus.
There it is. I'm gonna cut that, make that a YouTube short right there. That was great. Good job.
Thanks.
You're doing great, honey. So we are gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back for What You Chewing On?
Oh my gosh. No.
Come on.
I'm not
what
singing.
You chewing on? Chewing.
I'm like embarrassed for you when you do that.
Come on, give me a What You Chewing On.
Absolutely not.
See, Melissa, you are in musicals.
I was never in a musical. You're absolutely wrong there. I was in drama. I was in plays. I do not sing. I'm tone deaf. You don't want to hear me sing.
I was in drama. I was in plays. You were in Return to Pooh Corner, Melissa. That's not drama.
I was also in other plays.
And what were they?
But yes, I was Tigger in Return to Pooh Corner. That was pretty fun.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to What You Chewing On? What You Chewing On, Melissa Anderson?
So much stuff.
Thanks for hanging out with David and Bill. If you're enjoying the Revolve Recap, don't forget to make it official. Hit that subscribe button and leave a review on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. It's the easiest way to stay in the loop with the mission and the family here at Revolve. Go ahead, give that follow button some love. And now, back to the guys.
All right, welcome back. Now, what do you have for me, David?
Wow, that was really good. Melissa wanted to, like, on the break, she was like, can I do it? Can I do the welcome back? Which is funny because you're the voice in between the segments. And I told Linda today that you were going to be on the podcast, she's like, she's the voice in between, and we're going to hear actually more what she has to say.
Yes, but the voice in between is like my professional voice. I'm just talking normal now.
Yeah. When you worked for Disney.
When I worked for Disney.
Can we talk about that?
I don't know.
You think we'll get canceled?
I don't know.
Do you think there's kids that it's going to ruin the magic?
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the magic.
All right. So just so you know, adults, if you're over 18 and you're listening to this podcast, Melissa used to work for Disney. And she's got cool stories. And I don't want to tell you what she did because I don't want to ruin the magic. Because there might be, really, are there any like 8-year-olds that listen to this?
That listen. No.
Melissa was a character.
Yeah, I was a character at Disneyland. It was so much fun. Best character at Disneyland to be in the character suit, costume, whatever you call it, Eeyore. Because Eeyore, when it was super hot outside, you could just shrug your shoulders and then the air from outside would come up into the suit and you would cool off. Worst character to be? Buzz Lightyear.
Why is that?
It was so heavy and so hot and the mask was right against your nose.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you were breathing, would your breath be on the mask right in front of you, like all sweaty?
Disgusting. And then you have to clean it off with alcohol when you were done.
So what you chewing on, Melissa May Anderson Macomber?
Wow, full name. When I'm in trouble at home, all of my family just calls me by my maiden last name, Anderson.
Just Anderson.
Just Anderson. When I do something that is
like leaving the cabinets open.
Yeah, or
no. What makes our family upset, and then we'll get back to what you're chewing on. I'm sorry. Is you move stuff. She'll organize the kitchen, and then like a month later, she'll reorganize it, and then nothing's in the same place. And you're like trying to put things away, you're trying to cook.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like, oh, the pots and pans, they're now in the bathroom cabinet.
That is not true. I mean, I do move stuff, but I don't put pots and pans in the bathroom cabinet.
You'll put like bags of chips in the bathroom cabinet.
Well, we don't have a lot of kitchen storage. Yeah. Also, I move the furniture around. That's another one. That is another one. I'll admit it. It's okay. Anderson. They still love me, but that's when I do that kind of stuff, they call me Anderson.
Yeah.
So what I'm chewing on prayer. and the power of prayer and how my prayer life has grown and changed over the last year.
Yeah.
And the reading in First Thessalonians has been really, actually all of the New Testament reading has been really great. The opportunities to pray the Bible and to pray verses in my prayer life has been very powerful for me.
So what is it about, why do you think your prayer life has, would you say, improved? Like, what was the word to use? I don't remember. Gotten stronger or deeper?
Yeah,
right?
both stronger, deeper.
So what would you say, like, why is it at 40 years old?
I don't care if you say I'm 46. It's okay.
46
It
years
doesn't
old
bother me.
Is this kind of developing in your life, you think?
Well, I think it has been developing for several years, but the last year and a half or so, teenage children has the difficulty of being a parent to teenagers has increased my prayer life exponentially.
There you go.
Is that a PC way to say it?
Yes. It's a safe way to say it if your teenagers are listening. But, I think anyone who is a parent of a teenager will be like, amen, sister. Preach on, Anderson.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would agree. It's just it's just like a whole nother beast. And everybody says it, it's like all the teenage years, get ready. And you're like, not my kids.
No, but what's the thing that you said? These are the good old days. Like when we're sitting around thinking about the good old days, it's like, no, we're still in the good old days. And so trying really hard not to think that way. But it's hard to not reminisce when your kids were little and cute and didn't have beards.
Yeah. But I think, the reason the prayer has increased is because as our kids are getting older, it's like that understanding of control. Like you have this false sense of control when your kids are younger. You can kind of like force them into the car or like force them to go wherever you want, know, and it's like, whatever, like you're not going to leave the table until you finish your food or whatever. And it's like, now Seth can just like drive to Wawa and get his own food.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, he's speeding on the parkway and you're like,
slow down,
stop it. But like, so your prayer life has definitely increased because your control you're starting to lose control because it's in that transition of, you go from like preparing your kids their whole life of like building that foundation from the foundation, but you're giving them that foundation, but now it's like you're setting them up to launch.
Yeah, the foundation is set, and you have to trust and believe that the foundation is firm and know that God's got them. And prayer is the tool. And it really does help knowing that I've been praying for my kids their whole life.
Yeah.
But now I'm praying for more specific things and knowing that the verses I'm reading in the New Testament, I'm praying over my kids.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And I think the other thing too, to add to that is we homeschooled for so long. That's the other thing. It's like when you go from homeschooling to like sending your kids to school, that's like, you got to pray because there's like, you can't follow them around and like make sure everything's like safe and perfect. And you can kind of pick their friends and when they're homeschooled, but now it's like your son comes home and he's like, what's lust? But he learned that in church. So, but I'm glad he asked me and not some,
random
nincompoop at RMT.
Yeah.
So what's sexual immorality?
Wait, what are you chewing on?
What am I chewing on? I am chewing on today reading 1 Thessalonians 4. And this has been something that's been kind of on my heart for a while that I feel like the Lord's really convicted me on. But the passage in 1 Thessalonians 4 where it just talks about kind of living a quiet life with your hands, kind of like mind your own business, do your work, share the gospel when the time comes, if people are asking. But I think what I've just really been chewing on is recently of just like kind of just, I don't want to say minding your own business, but not allowing like intrusive thoughts to kind of come in that are like these negative thoughts about people. And I think just we're all living our life and we're all doing the best we can, and you think that people are out to get you. So like you're driving and you're like replaying conversations in your head. I say you, I mean me.
Got it.
But like I'm replaying conversations in my head and it was like, oh, is that person like mad at me? Are they offended? Like, why did they say that? And it's like, stop like worrying about like what people think about you or what, like, I don't know. So that's just kind of what I've been just like, live your life, honor God, try not to say stupid things on a microphone. If you do, apologize, and not just, kind of walk in that grace, but don't abuse the grace. And so that's kind of what I've been chewing on. I know it's kind of all over the place, but I feel like every day it's like you read things and it's like kind of like brings up old thoughts. And I think that was the thought I had today, was just when I was reading that, was just like that kind of just live your life, honor God, love your neighbor. Don't worry too much about what other people think of you, or, and if you say something stupid, you apologize.
Say sorry.
And you move on.
Oh, that's good.
So anything else?
I think no, I'm good.
One last chance to what you chewing on.
Oh my goodness. Just enjoying hanging out with you.
No, you have to sing the what you chewing on.
Oh, I didn't get the clue there. He was telling me I had to sing. It's not happening, guys. Sorry.
All right. So I know, what I don't like doing the mailbag either, but
Bill I'll do
loves
mailbag.
It. Really?
Mailbag.
That's not mailbag. All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll come back with
mailbag.
There you go. That was good.
Got a question about last week's sermon? A discipleship challenge you're navigating? Or maybe a question of the day that David and Bill need to answer? We want to hear from you. Send your thoughts and questions over. info@revolvechurchnj.com. Your voice is a huge part of the conversation, so don't be shy. Drop us an email and you just might hear it on a future episode.
Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. That's it. That's all I got. And my poor students have to listen to that every day. Sad.
All right. So the mailbag question is, should...
Is it real, the mailbag question?
Yes.
Oh, because last time it was someone from the name, and the one time before it was someone from the name of where they were from, their name.
So that's we joke. We're like, oh, this is Elizabeth from Elizabethtown. We don't say actually who asked the question.
Oh, okay.
Unless you have a question. Do you have a question?
No.
Welcome back to this section of... What are you doing?
My chair's moved. It was an accident.
Oh, did I give you... I should give you the one. Billy stacks all the pads up. He gets a comfy chair. I should have done that for you.
It's okay.
So what section is it? What section is it?
Mailbag.
Really? Very good. It's my mailbag.
I don't think I can do that. I'm not even going to try.
Come on. Come on.
Mailbag. That's all I got. Sorry.
That's close enough. Victor sang a song.
I know. I'm Blue's Clues. We just figured out Blue's Clues. No, I'm sorry.
So,
I don't know. I think that's definitely not allowed.
So Melissa had a question, and I think this is a question
Wait, I had a question?
Yeah. You had a question about in the Bible where it says not to interrupt your husband when he's doing a podcast. That question.
Well, you shouldn't have invited me. Just saying.
So...
Was his fourth or fifth or sixth choice? It's cool, guys. It's cool.
For a wife or for a...
Oh, my goodness. For a podcast partner. I really hope I wasn't your fourth or fifth or sixth choice for your wife. Wow.
Where were we at here? So
mailbag.
So mailbag question was, you were my first choice for a wife. I did when I came to the college group at your church when I moved to California.
When you thought I was in high school.
Yes. So, but once I found out you weren't in high school and you were in college, you were the only one I ever pursued. 28 years ago.
Woo, we are old.
All right. So
I did have a question.
Melissa's question was, are the mailbag questions real questions? And they are. And I actually had this question asked to me today by someone else. During prayer on Mondays, we have prayer here at the office, and someone asked me if the mailbag questions, and yes, they're real questions that, as elders of the church and leaders and, talking to people, these questions come up, and we kind of make them funny by like saying, this is Elizabeth from Elizabethtown, Tennessee.
Yeah, so that's why I thought they were fake also.
Yes. So, but we will take these, we figure that if someone asks this question, maybe other people have the questions.
Got it. I understand.
But we change the names just so it's like, just
so people don't stop asking questions because they're afraid you're going to put them on the podcast.
Someone could ask Bill a question like, what if my husband is on a podcast and he's like always putting his foot in his mouth? What should I do?
And then Bill will wonder if it's him or you.
Exactly. We'll ask like, did Gina or Melissa ask this question?
Okay.
But typically we try not to say who asked the question. But today we had a question that came in, and this is from Jerry in Jerrysville, Indiana.
You can't use Jerry. We have a Jerry that actually goes to our church.
I don't know no Jerry.
I do. Jeremiah.
So Jerry from Jerrysville, Indiana said, I borrowed my brother-in-law's chainsaw. It's an electric chainsaw. How long do I have to keep it before it's considered my chainsaw?
That is not
and
a real
my brother-in-law
question.
could or could not be the pastor of the church. See what I did there? It was really Jerry.
I see it. Yeah.
It was really Jerry. And what I said when he asked this question is I said, it's an electric chainsaw. It's not a real chainsaw. So it doesn't even count. You should just throw it in the garbage and go get a steel chainsaw that takes gas like a man.
Wow. That's a very strong opinion you have about chainsaws, Macomber. Is it the same place your opinions on sweatpants comes from?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We actually had 6 families leave the church because of my sweatpants.
David Macomber.
Wow. I don't like sweatpants, and I don't like electric chainsaws.
Maybe you should be called David Bruce Macomber Jr.
How do you cut a tree down with an electric chainsaw? It just does not seem the amount of lithium that has to be mined from the jungles of Southeast Asia to power a chainsaw. Just use good old American gasoline.
Maybe it plugs in. Is it a plug-in?
A plug-in chainsaw?
I don't know. Electricity, plug-in. I don't know anything about chainsaws. Sorry, you're asking the wrong girl.
So the real mailbag question here today is, should my discipleship group keep meeting for the summer? Half of the group wants to stop meeting. Half the group wants to keep meeting. What should I do? And that was from Charlotte, from Charlottesville, North Carolina.
All right. Wow. Look at you finding a real place on the fly. Impressive. What do you think? I mean, when I first started going to Revolve, all the groups took a break in the summer, right?
Really?
I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't remember.
Somebody remembers. Let us know. Gina?
Yeah, put it in the chat. Yeah, Gina would know.
Yeah,
she would
she's
know.
Really good at that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So, so what do you prefer when you were in a DG? You took a year off from being in a DG this year.
So that's an interesting question because in the summer I start a new DG when I'm not in my regular DG.
Yeah.
So Jen Worthington and I invite anybody who wants to join us at the Bay one morning a week and have a summer discipleship group.
Yep.
It's very nice. So if anybody's interested, let me know.
Yeah. So her group, so Jen Worthington's group kind of has to, because of summer schedules, they have to take a break. And I think this is actually a really good example. So if your group is a group that, people's work increases over the summer, they have summer jobs, they run a summer business, and they're just tapped out, then maybe start another thing that's kind of separate that, there are some people that that their group isn't meeting, you can meet at a separate time, right?
Yeah.
And then try to get creative with your meeting times. Cause now like with summer being out and the kids aren't in school, you can meet at 8:30, which normally would be getting kids the school time, you can meet at the beach.
Right. And we meet at the bay and kids are welcome. And sometimes kids come and play and flip over stinky horseshoe crabs. And it's been a couple summers. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I would say if you are leading a discipleship group and, your group, because there's...
Wait, I have another thought. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
What about if your group could still meet maybe once a month so you don't feel so disconnected for a fellowship time? If the people who are not able to meet weekly, maybe everybody could meet once a month. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah. That is, I think a majority of the groups that are saying like, hey, we're taking a break, the whole group's taking a break, they are very specific, like 2 or 3 times out of the year to say, hey, we're going to have a barbecue one night. Whoever can come. And they do, so they're not like completely disconnected. So I would say if your group needs to take a break, ask, because there is this thing, and I'm going to, Bill's going to love that I bring this up, because this is like, he gets very frustrated with like Cape May shore town culture of like, it's summertime, can't do anything. But then like everybody goes to the beach every day and be like committed to that. So if your group just doesn't want to meet because they just want to hang out on the beach, then that's not really a good reason to not meet anymore. Maybe your group could meet at the beach, which is what we did a couple of years ago when we had the young adults. We kept meeting throughout the summer, but we would meet at the beach and everyone would bring food and we'd hang out. And, we were already at the beach with our kids. And when people got off work, they'd come and join us. Right.
Yep.
So I would say, make sure you're not just like taking a break just because you just want to not meet anymore. But if you're like legit busy, like it's okay, take a break. Like we talk about this. I feel like we used to talk about it more years in the past, but this idea of like on ramps and off ramps, like we're very much like, whether it's serve staff, whether it's discipleship groups, leadership, attending a group, leading a group, we're very much like there's seasons in life. And if you have to take a break for this season for a couple months, no one at Revolve in like leadership, like the elders, are going to be like, you have to lead that group, Yeah. So take a break. If you got to take a break, take a break. Like
just stay connected in some way.
But look at you. Stay connected in some way, right?
Yeah.
Texting, reaching out.
Well, and it feels good to know that people care about each other.
Yeah. Yep. So again, summertime, we don't really have a hard and fast rule that you have to keep meeting or you have to take a break. Some, like my group, keeps meeting, but we meet at 5:30 in the morning. So it's like nothing is really affected at 5:30 in the morning. It's like
I'm still asleep.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people have businesses, or they're they run businesses, or their working schedule increases a lot. So just don't become completely disconnected.
Yeah, agreed. It's important.
Yeah. So that is it for mailbag. And so, yes. So if you have a question for mailbag, feel free to ask it. We talk a lot about, discipleship groups, things like that, but we're not going to use your name. So if you have a question.
And when your questions comes up, you can be impressed with who they came up with to name you and tell where you're from.
Yeah. Like that question from Lou from Louisville, Kentucky.
That was Charlotte from Charlottesville. Good try.
All right. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to finish up with the announcements.
Oh, yes.
You excited?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome to the Revolve Recap.
No.
What?
Try again. You said it weird.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Hey, welcome. All right, you do it then.
All right, welcome to the Revolve announcements. Weekly announcements? What's the words?
It's the Revolve Recap weekly announcements.
All right.
And it's normally Bill and I, and he's much less, mean to me, but you came in.
26 years.
Wow, this is my wife, Melissa May, and we're doing the announcements together.
Yay.
All right, so what's the...
Wait, do we have to start that over?
No,
Okay.
I'm leaving this all in.
All right, welcome.
This is the way we do it. We shoot we're straight shooters
One
here
time,
at Revolve.
one
It's
time.
not like we're not like polishing it up, bringing you like, oh, this is me and my fancy shirt or my smoke machine.
So now everyone knows about my mean streak.
Yes, yes. The cat is out of the bag. Melissa's super mean.
That's not true.
I know. You were the best kindergarten teacher besides Mrs. Jones. She was my favorite.
All right.
So I wonder if she's still alive.
All right. What's the announcement?
Oh, yeah. So the announcements are, the first announcement is we started a calling it the Men's Redemption Group, and it's Sundays at 6 p.m. here at the office, otherwise known as the podcast studio. And this is just a group, kind of it's a discipleship group, but it's for men only at this time. We're kind of focusing just on men. So, but it's for men who are struggling with addiction, have overcome addiction, and not let that addiction be what identifies you, but you are claiming and identifying your life as a Christ follower and what that looks like. So, whatever is talked about is, obviously confidential. And, but if that's something you seem that you would be interested in, Sundays at 6 o'clock here at the office. Yeah. Or if you have any more questions, just email the office info@revolvechurchnj.com and we can answer any questions that you might have. But we're very excited about that group. It's been kind of like stirring it in the pot for like 3 or 4 months, and we're really excited to see that launch. But Melissa was very excited because that was a men's announcement.
Yeah.
But this is like a family announcement.
Right. May
So what do we got?
31st at Southern Cape Christian School. Revolve. There we have it. Revolve's birthday bonanza. Baptisms. You made a face. It made me nervous. Bring your own chair.
BYOC. Bring your own chair.
Bring something good to share food-wise. There's going to be baptisms. It's family friendly. No Revolve kids. It's going to be outside. So make sure you wear sunscreen. So
no Revolve kids. Like,
that's what it says on there.
There's no Revolve like
no
kids
class
program, but Revolve kids
are going to be
come.
there. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do.
Where is it?
At Southern Cape Christian School. That's where I teach kindergarten.
Really?
Yeah. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, so make sure you come. That's May 31st, 10 o'clock. Don't come to the high school.
Don't come to the high school.
Okay. And then don't text like Pastor Bill and
where
be like, where are you? What are the customers? What is that from? I think of that all the time.
No.
Is that a commercial?
I think so,
All
yeah.
right, but yeah, so bring a chair, bring some food to share.
Bring your family. If you're getting baptized, invite your extended family.
Yeah, yeah.
Bring a change of clothes if you're getting baptized. I'm sure they already told you that. But if you even think you might be getting baptized, bring a change of clothes.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to bring a change of clothes because maybe there might be water balloons that I'm going to throw.
Oh, well.
Oh, man. Jed just got so mad at me for saying that.
You're
water
definitely
balloons.
in trouble.
Yeah, I'll edit water balloons out. We can't say water balloons. But hey, thanks so much for watching the Revolve Recap weekly announcements. And do you know what? This video that you're getting this email from, this video that's in this email, there's a whole podcast before this.
Yeah, you definitely want to rewind and listen to the whole podcast.
Yes, because my host was Melissa, my beautiful wife. Bill will be back next week, but for this week, we give like marriage advice. We learn more about Melissa's mean streak. Oh,
it's true.
By the grace of God,
Forgiven.
Right? Yep.
Forgiven.
How perfect I am as a husband, and I have everything all figured out as a husband and dad.
It's exactly. So come to him when you need advice.
All right. Thanks so much for watching, for listening. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Hit that bell.
Hit that bell. So subscribe. I can't even talk. Subscribe.
Do our hand.
Yeah.